Well, as you're saying, I am pretty tired at the moment, Simon, as I'm in the middle of my busiest month of the year.
What would that be like?
They end up outside, but if they go to the right, they fall straight down inside your wall cavity. So we're extracting a lot of birds out of wall cavities at the moment. And now that the starlings are starting to fledge, that the Indian miners, the flying rats as Philip calls them, they're now starting to go into nesting mode.
Why doesn't everyone have chicken wire over their chimney pots?
Yes, that's what we keep saying. Because
then you wouldn't have half these calls.
Well, not with the birds in the roof, but the Indian miners, they're the ones that go down the chimneys all the time.
Yeah.
They like to drop lots of litter and grasses and things down inside the flue to build a nest there. But Canara heaters are very, very common at the moment. We're probably doing at least 2 a day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I believe... go on.
I was just going to say, how do you get them out of a Kunara heater? It's a metallic chimney thing going up
yes, it is. It's actually quite simple, to be honest, and I'll put myself out of business if I talk about this. But basically, if you do have any sort of Kunara-type heater that's got a glass door on the front of it, you open up the glass door, you put your 2 hands up onto the roof, there's a metal plate, you lift that plate up 1 inch, you pull it towards you 1 inch, and then the plate drops down and the bird falls out into the fireplace. So you reach in, grab the bird, take it outside and let it go, but seal off the top of your flue so it doesn't happen again.
Now, speaking of birds, I remember when I was in the Blue Mountains up at Katoomba a few years ago, there used to be currawongs everywhere, and I understand they've made their way to Melbourne.
They certainly have. I've noticed a big increase with currawongs especially probably in the last 6 to 7 years now.
Okay.
10 years ago, no, you never saw them anywhere at all. But I'm seeing them almost on a daily basis, and I'm now starting to do rescues of them. I did one that had been in a stairwell for 3 days down in St Kilda, and they weren't able to capture it out of the stairwell, and I got a phone call off the real estate agent, and we had them out within 5 minutes.
Oh, good work. Now, I leave sugared water out for my rainbow lorikeets, and they love it, but they're often scared off by what I imagine might be a butcher bird, perhaps, with a long tail feather?
Well, the butcher birds, they are quite aggressive towards other birds.
Would they enjoy sweet nectar?
No, not butcher birds. They're a meat eater.
Oh, okay.
Do you know why they call them a butcher bird?
Well, as you say, they prefer meat.
They do, but when they capture their meat, they actually hang it up in the tree like a butcher used to hang his meat.
You're kidding.
No, that's what they do, and that's one of the reasons I believe they're called a butcher bird.
Okay, so what type of bird would this be that enjoys sweet syrup and has a long tail?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the wattle bird.
I probably am.
Yeah, the honey eater, the wattle bird.
But it does frighten the lorikeets away.
Yes, they can be quite aggressive, and I've done a few jobs this year where they've actually been attacking humans.
Yes.
Because people have been getting too close to their nest. And the other day I actually picked up a little baby off the ground. Somebody called us out and thought it had a broken leg, but the little fella was fine. But when I was checking him out, the adult bird wasn't happy with me at all.
No. Making
a lot of noise and commotion.
Tell Simon about the gecko that you had to
the gecko,
had to rescue.
Yes. 2 weeks ago, I received a phone call from actually somebody that I know that works at a factory that does importing, and he sent me this photo of a gecko, and in the photo, it just looked like a normal little gecko, and the geckos we have here are about 3 to 4 inches long, and he said that this one's actually got orange spots on it, and I said, oh, really? I said, it doesn't look like it in the photo, but the photo was taken in the ship container in a dark area. But so I went out there to check it out, and I've opened up the box, and I couldn't believe my eyes what I saw. It was an 8-inch long gecko with orange and blue spots all over it.
Orange and blue.
Orange and blue.
So certainly not Australian.
Definitely not Australian. It was a ship container that had come from Thailand, and after a bit of a search, it was actually my Facebook people, because I put the photo up onto my Facebook page, and I asked everybody to identify it for me, because I'm driving around, I don't have time to do that sort of thing. So within about 10 minutes, somebody had picked it up as being a red-spotted toque. I'm not sure if that's actually how you say it, or tokay, but he was the most most amazing colours. So anybody wants to see that little gecko, you can go to my Facebook page and see it.
Can they be kept as pets or anything?
No,
or?
definitely not.
No?
Definitely not.
Are they sort of meat-eating vermin, going to kill everything it comes in contact with?
I have no idea on this particular species.
Could they give you a nasty bite?
Well, this little fella was jumping up at me, and I had the box open.
And spitting at you, perhaps?
And spitting at me. I had the box open for probably about 8 seconds, and this little fella's run around, and then all of a sudden he's leapt up out of the box, and he started to take off into the warehouse that I was in, so I had to very quickly corral him and get him back into the box again before we lost him. But the Department of Ag and Deppy were notified, and they came down and picked it up and took him away.
Okay, and is he on your Facebook for us to look at?
Yes, the little video of him jumping out of boxes there, and a nice big close-up of him, but certainly the most amazing thing, you just never know what the next phone call is going to be.
No, now, one of the most disgusting creatures I've ever come across on the Gold Coast was a cane toad, and they're prevalent up there, but they're now being turned into a delicacy.
Yes, I've heard a bit of talk about that. I'd try one.
Oh, would you?
Yes.
Well, frog's legs.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but, cane toads are full of venom. And,
well,
it's only on their back,
It's only on their back. When they feel threatened, they excrete this creamy sort of liquid, I believe.
Which could blind a person and kill an animal.
It certainly kills
So
any
try
animal.
not to wipe a cane toad across your eye? Is that the message we're trying to get out today?
But also, have you heard that they've been around long enough now that the ravens, they've actually evolved to work out how they can actually eat them?
Yes, I know the answer to this. I remember seeing this somewhere. Can I try and be a smart aleck?
Go for it.
Right? They've learnt to flip them over onto their backs so they can peck at their stomachs.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Isn't
how
that
clever is that?
Yeah, so it just shows how animals do evolve and do change to their surroundings.
Well, let's hope they never march southward towards
yes,
towards
well,
Victoria.
Hopefully not.
I don't think we have the climate for them down there.
No.
Some calls now for Nigel. Gemma at Mill Park. Hi, Gemma.
Hello, Philip. Hello, Simon. Nigel, how are you?
Good, Gemma.
Nigel, I've got a question about just wild rabbits. My son picked up a little rabbit that was it was injured. It was only a little thing, and he brought it home. We've had it for about 11 months. We've had her indoors in the sunroom, so she's been doing quite well.
Right.
What she's been doing lately is we let her run the household basically. She's gnawing on like our furniture and on the shoes, like the heels of the shoes. Is that normal? I haven't had a defect or anything.
Right, it's certainly not normal. It might be something that's in the leather on the shoe or something that's attracting it. It's probably a question for Jack Airby with Dennis from that one, as I do more the rescue side of animals than the behaviour of animals. But
rabbits do need to chew on things to keep their teeth down, don't they? So maybe it's just got to a point where its teeth have grown to a length where it knows it needs to gnaw.
Yes,
Perhaps.
I'd be talking to your local vet, or there's actually a rabbit clinic. I think they operate out of the Animal Emergency Centre down in Hallam. You'll certainly be able to get their phone number off them there, the rabbit clinic, and they will certainly be able to give you the proper advice on that situation.
Do you think we should let her go? I mean, we thought we'd nurtured her to good health and then let her go. But I guess I've gotten to I've got it attached and I care about her now, and she's having a good little life indoors.
And it would be well too domesticated now, wouldn't it, Nigel?
It would probably go back to the wild. Rabbits survive very well out there, and there's a lot of them around.
I reckon it'd be fox dinner within an hour, wouldn't it? If it went outside?
You drive down through Cranbourne and down through Devon Meadows and Somerville, and the amount of rabbits that are kittens that are around at the moment, they're just everywhere.
Well, there you are, Gemma.
Too.
I hope we're giving you the best advice.
Well, thank you very much. Well, that's a help.
Okay, but you mentioned the rabbit clinic, did you call it?
Yes, the rabbit clinic. They just specialise with rabbit problems and rabbit situations, anything to do with rabbits.
How bland. Why don't they call themselves "What's up, Doc"? Something like that, you know?
Because they're smart?
I don't know. They obviously don't have my fertile imagination. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say it's not really an approved thing. Not to tell Gemma off at all, but to take a wild animal in and sort of domesticate it is not generally accepted.
Well, if it was wildlife, I'd have an issue with that. But being vermin, and introduce species to the country, I have no issues with that at all.
No, fair.
Okay, we'll come back. Hey, can you wait on another few minutes, Nigel?
Absolutely.
But first, we'll take it.
5 to 11 on 3AW. Nigel from Nigel's Animal Rescue is with us. And Nigel, there are two types of possums we have here, aren't there, generally? Yes.
We'll just yes, there is.
There we go.
Yep.
Two types of possums. They would be the brush-tail and the
ringtail possum.
Ringtail. The ringtail possum, they're small little things. Do they live in like your roofs or trees? And the reason I ask, before you even answer, my wife the other day has wandered out to go and put something in the bin. She's walked past a hose that's hooked up, and we've got a hook on the wall, hose draped over it, wrapped around it a couple of times. There, asleep in the bottom curve of the hose, was a little ringtail possum. Oh. And she saw it and thought, oh, crikey, we've got cats. The cat's going to take a look at that and say thanks for breakfast. So she's taken the little thing and brought it inside in a box so it slept during the day, then let it out again at night. But is that an unusual place for it to sleep, or are they that small that we just don't see them?
Well, the ringtail possum generally is a wonderful nest builder that will build a dray in a tree, create its own nest. It's the big brush-tailed possum that's the very lazy one. He's the one that goes into people's roofs and sleeps down inside the wall cavities.
Yep.
He's also the one that goes down everybody's chimneys. So
and thumps across our roof at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. So it's the ringtails don't get themselves into too many dramas living with us in suburbia, apart from the cat problem. The cats are picking up the babies left, right and centre.
Yeah.
I know one wildlife shelter, she had over 300 babies come through within about a 4 to 5 week period.
Wow.
Where cats have been bringing them home and people finding them, thinking that they're injured, but they will be lazy as well. As I've had many a ringtail possum that sleeps under the cover of the barbecue. It's a nice little dark area, or get in behind the pot plants on the balcony. So they will sort of just curl up into a corner somewhere, and almost every day of the week I get a phone call, somebody's found a ringtail possum somewhere. So unless it's injured, we leave them alone.
I seem to recall once I found one in a pot plant. I think it was last year. I probably rang you about that as well. Just outside, right at the front door, there was a pot plant there, and curled up this little tiny baby ringtail possum.
Yeah, they think they can't be seen by anybody, and they just curl up and go to sleep. They are gorgeous.
And of course, there's an expression, playing possum, where you see one on the nature strip and you presume they're dead. And that's called playing possum.
Well, maybe throughout the day. I know the term, but I don't know the origins of it.
Well, I mean, if there was a possum on the ground and there was a dog sniffing around, they would go rigid and give the impression that they were dead.
No,
I don't know if that's true of Australian possums.
I know that they would run away and up the trees for safety.
Oh, well, that's what I've been told playing possum means.
No, I think it's actually an American thing for the possums they have over there.
It means playing bed. Sophie's in Paran. Hello, Sophie.
Hi, boys. How are you?
Here's Nigel of Nigel's Animal Rescue.
Hi, Nigel. My mum's been in contact with you before. You have a wonderful service, and thank you for all your great work.
Oh, thank you.
I'm actually ringing in regards to the lady that rang up about the rabbits.
Oh, right, yes.
And I've had rabbits for over 30 years and would love to get in contact with her. I'll leave my details with your producer in case she's listening.
Yes.
They definitely do. It's common that they do gnaw into chairs and cables and anything they can find when they're indoors, because they do have to constantly have things to chew, but the best they could, for any other listeners as well, the best to give them is apple or pear trees that haven't been sprayed.
Oh, right, yes.
Branches
for them to chew away at.
Yeah, and also it's often to do with boredom when they're inside and they're in a repetitive kind of routine.
Right, yes.
So you have to sort of provide either boxes for them in different sort of areas so that they can keep rearranging things, because they're very mischievous at times, but delightful to have as pets. So if that lady's listening and she wants to have a chat, I'm more than happy to help her out a little bit.
Terrific. That's very kind of you, Sophie. So, Gemma, if you're still listening, ring back and we'll pass Sophie's number on to you. And thank you very much for that.
Right, Sophie, very helpful. Now,
just before Sophie goes, you're still with us there, Sophie?
I am. I'm listening.
30 years of rabbits. Have you had lots of different varieties? And if so, what's the favourite?
Oh, favourite? Oh, that's a tough one. I'd have to say our current ones because they're right here listening to your program every evening.
And you don't want to offend them.
I don't want to offend them. Lamington and Pavlova are right here listening to your program. And one of them, they're both from the rabbit refuge. There's actually a rabbit orphanage in Olinda, the Rabbit Runaway in Olinda, which is, kindly run by two people who have helped rabbits in their house, lots of strays. And so they're just from there. And one of them's an agouti, which is like a natural sort of looking rabbit from out in the country. And the other one is just they're both strays. They're both gorgeous.
They do make great house pets, and I know quite a few people that have rabbits inside of their home, and they'll always go to one corner of the room and do all their toilet and their business in one area. They're actually very, very clean animals to have in the house.
Do they have like a kitty litter box, do they?
They do. They're very habitual. Ours don't have kitty litter, but they've got their spot. But they're really easy to look after in that way, definitely.
Sophie, speaking of Olinda, and thanks for calling up, I've got for you a Saturday night dinner voucher for the Cookie Restaurant Olinda. Decorated with the charm of a Bavarian chalet, the cookie is more than a meal, it's an experience.
Oh, my goodness, that's so delightful. Thank you so much.
Enjoy that, and I hope...
But leave the rabbits at home, because otherwise,
enjoy the night out and take someone special with you, Sophie.
Thank you so much for that, and thanks for your great program. I listen every night.
Thanks, and hang on for Bianca. She'll get your details. Nigel, thank you for coming in again tonight. We always look forward to your visits. Tell us how people can reach you.
My 24-hour number is 0427 533 083, and anybody that wants to follow my adventures with animals, Facebook at Nigel's Animal Rescue.
Okay, and
just as we speak, I'm going to put a link to Nigel's Facebook page on our Facebook page for anyone who didn't hear that or get that or whatever.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean.
Yeah, if anybody who's got any animals that are stuck and injured in your roof, down your wall cavities, in your chimney, stuck in your car engine or down the drains, that's what we normally specialise in. Plus, of course, getting possums out of people's roofs.
Okay, happy weekend, Nigel.
Terrific. Thanks, boys.
Good night.